Breathwork can be a valuable tool to help you reach deeper states of consciousness, heal from deep traumatic wounds, and also change your state. But it's important that we understand the different types of breathwork, what they're doing, and what the intention and goal behind them is. Let's go ahead and break this down. I came across breathwork as I was unpacking my trauma that I've been carrying from my childhood, things that had happened as an adult, and I generally just didn't feel very well, and breathwork became a valuable tool to help me express the energy and start to feel much, much better. And now breathwork is something that I share all over the country to help people really change their state and unpack their own deep traumatic wounds so we can feel better, think clearly, and create from a clear space and reconnect to our hearts and our intuitive spaces. There's lots of different breathwork practices, but there's two major categories that those breathwork practices fall into. One would be state control, and the other would be trauma work. State control might be more something like the Wim Hof method, or box breathing, or even just a daily breathwork practice. These are breathwork activities that change your state, which is very important, right? By elevating our state, we change our awareness points. We can collect better ideas. If you're into frequencies and energy, it can raise your frequency and raise your energy. And overall, it can just help you to feel better. Trauma work as it relates to breath work would be a deeper, longer practice like holotropic breath work or the breathwork method that I've created that I share with people. And that is more of a guided process. There's usually music, there's different breathing patterns, and the whole goal is to connect to your subconscious and allow the energy and the stories that are being held in the body to come to the surface so you can see those stories, see those energies, and allow them to be expressed and start to change. If you were to walk into one of my breathwork ceremonies that's geared around trauma work, it is quite the thing to see. You might see people crying, you might see people yelling, you might see people screaming, shaking their body. What's taking place is you're going into a deep, non-ordinary state, almost like a dream state. And in this state, with a certain breathing pattern, with the music, the vocal cueing, you start to see certain stories or energies that you may be holding on to. In those moments when you experience, quote, trauma, it was too much for you to handle in the moment. We can think of trauma simply as a situation where the moment was too much for us to handle in the moment. And so we didn't know how to express it or work through it, so we kind of store that energy, store that emotion. And there's usually a story that gets attached to us. And left unnoticed, these stories can be very damaging or hinder our growth as human beings and our human journey. So going back to these breathwork ceremonies, if you walked in, you'd be like, man, what the hell's going on here? It's because people are now in a safe space and we're kind of invoking that similar stressed energy, but now they're given the opportunity to express that energy in a safe container. So they're actually using the voice or the scream or the cry or the yell that they needed to use in that moment. They didn't have the awareness to do so. And so now they're expressing that energy in a safe place, which naturally starts to release that energy and allow us to change those stories. So if you're looking for deep trauma work, that's the type of breath work you're actually looking to do. It's very different than state-controlled breath work. You're probably not going to enter in one of those states when you're just doing a daily breathwork practice. Again, daily breathwork practice is great. A good daily practice will help you change your state so you can just be in a higher vibrational state, think more clearly, see more clearly, which is very powerful, and just kind of frame up your day for success. It's not uncommon though in a daily breathwork practice to kind of come across some of those energies. You might have some surface level stuff like, man, I need to call this person back, or I'm feeling really stressed about this, or maybe here's a different way for me to think about something. What you have to remember is that these little insights, like I need to call this person back, or I'm being too hard on myself, that little adjustment can not only change your life, it can change your destiny. The whole goal with my breathwork method is to increase the awareness that an individual has. What that might look like is understanding some of those stories that are trapped and held in your subconscious mind. To reframe them, we first have to see those stories. Once a story is seen, we can start to change the energy around the story. Another example, perhaps you experienced something very traumatic, but you've always kind of seen yourself as the victim of this scenario. In a breathwork session that's deep and powerful and moving this type of energy, you might be able to start to reframe that and see how you actually maybe are the hero of your own story, how this experience brought you deeper to who you are, gave you some unique attributes, and then no longer do you have to be the victim of this story, you can step into being the victor. But the difference with breathwork, and one of the most powerful things about it, is we're not talking from our mind. When we're talking from our conscious mind, it's too easy just to loop a similar pattern. It kind of stays in the head. But the reality is a lot of our memories and the energy we carry is stored in our body. Your body has over 1 trillion nerve cells. You're an energetic being. And so if we don't clear those energies out, pull the weeds out of the garden, they're gonna be stuck in our body. And our body is in the present moment. And our body will react first. As an example, if you're holding on to a traumatic event, energy around a trauma, and your body feels that, you're in a situation that reminds the body, reminds the mind of something similar, your body's naturally gonna start to tighten up, your breath will shallow, and your mind will respond to that energy. If we give them an opportunity to be expressed, to get out of our body, we start to heal those energies and we can be more relaxed and therefore more in the present moment. So one of the most powerful gifts we get by doing breath work is we become more present to the moment. And I always say, if you look at the top performers, they're always very present. Like look at an MMA fighter. At the highest levels, they're very loose and they're very relaxed. They're entering in a cage to fight each other, to eliminate somebody's consciousness. But yet to perform great, they have to be very relaxed and very in the present moment. They're not tense, they're not going in there like, here I go. They're actually relaxed and loose. So we want to bring that same energy into our life. So daily breath work can be a powerful tool to do just that. It can bring us into the present moment and into the energy of our body. And then every now and then doing some of that deep traumatic breath work can be a very powerful tool as well. So those are the two categories of breath work as you're looking for different practices and different things to bring into your routine. It's just something for you to be aware of. What I want you to do next is to look in the description below. I have a link down there for you that has a free daily breathwork practice along with a meditation. This meditation will help you bring a lot of clarity and insight to your daily practice. There's also some cueing, some questions in there to help you go deeper into yourself. It's very important that we understand deeply who we are. When we understand who we are, we show up in the world quite differently, and we no longer become a slave to the world outside of us. We learn to honor ourselves and show up for ourselves every single day. I make these videos for you, so if you can do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe, and until next time, peace.